What if I told you that confidence isn't built only by what you do? It doesn't take a single earthquake to collapse your self-belief. Sometimes, it's the silent cracks you ignore. Think about this. Every time you replay a failure, compare yourself to someone else, or let toxic words echo in your mind, your confidence isn't just dented, it's being stolen, and the thief is often invisible. Successful people aren't confident because life is easy. They're confident because they know how to protect their inner fire when everything around them tries to put it out. And today, you'll learn how to do the same. Confidence is fragile. It can take years to build, but moments to shatter. And here's the truth. Most people spend their lives trying to add confidence through achievements, validation, or success. But what they don't realize is this confidence is less about stacking, more on top, and more about guarding what you already have from being chipped away. So if you've ever wondered why your self-belief feels shaky, even when you've achieved things, if you've ever asked yourself, why do I still doubt myself? This is why. Because hidden in your daily habits are subtle killers. Habits that eat away at your strength without you even noticing. In this journey, we're going to shine a light on them. 5 confidence killers. 5 traps that silently drain your power. And more importantly, how to stop them before they rob you of the person you're meant to become. Let's begin. Number 1. The whisper of negative self-talk. It always starts with a whisper. A small voice inside your head. You're not good enough. You're going to fail. Why even try? It doesn't scream. It doesn't shout. It creeps in quietly until you mistake it for your own voice. This is negative self-talk. And make no mistake, is one of the most powerful killers of confidence. The invisible enemy, here's the irony, most of the time, it's not the world that breaks you. It's not the criticism from others. It's not rejection, failure, or even disappointment. It's the constant replay of those things inside your own mind. Think about it. Someone insults you once, that's painful, but when you repeat their words to yourself 100 times in your head, that's self-destruction. The mind can be the greatest ally or the most brutal enemy. And when that inner dialogue is poisoned, confidence doesn't just weaken, it crumbles. The power of language. Every word you speak to yourself leaves a mark. Words are not just sounds, they are instructions. When you keep telling yourself, I can't do this, your brain doesn't argue. It listens, it obeys, it creates the reality you describe. That's why athletes train their minds as much as their bodies. That's why leaders talk about affirmations, visualizations, and mental conditioning. Because they know this. What you say to yourself is what you become, breaking the pattern. So, how do you fight back? Not by silencing the voice entirely, you can't, but by challenging it. Next time you hear that whisper, pause. Don't just accept it as truth. Ask yourself, is this fact or is this fear? 9 times out of 10, it's fear, and fear lies. Then replace the script. If the thought is, I'll fail, shift it to, even if I fail, I'll learn. And if I learn, I'll grow. And if I grow, I'll win in the long run. This is not about blind positivity. It's about rewriting your mental language so it fuels you. Instead of draining you, confidence isn't about being fearless. It's about refusing to let fear have the last word. And the moment you take control of your inner dialogue, you take control of your life. Because here's the truth. The world is already hard enough. Don't let your own voice make it harder. Now, negative self-talk is dangerous because it comes from within. But sometimes, the danger comes from outside. From the people, places, and energies you surround yourself with. Which leads us to the second confidence killer. Toxic environments. Number 2, stuck in a toxic environments. Confidence doesn't just grow in your head, it grows in the soil you stand on. And if that soil is poisoned, your growth will always be stunted. We often underestimate this truth. The environment you choose is silently shaping you every single day. The subtle poison, toxic environments don't always look obvious. It's not always people shouting at you, criticizing you, tearing you down in plain sight. Sometimes it's more subtle. It's the friend who laughs at your dreams, the coworker who gossips every time you're not around, the family member who reminds you of your limits but never your potential. At first, it feels small, but just like a drop of water hitting the same stone every day. Over time, it wears you down. And here's the harsh reality: you can't build unshakable confidence in a place that constantly shakes you. The energy exchange, every room you walk into, is an exchange of energy. Some people leave you feeling lighter, inspired, seen. Others leave you feeling smaller, drained, doubting yourself. And here's the trap: if you stay too long in toxic energy, you start mistaking it for normal. You start believing, maybe this is just how life is, but it's not. You're not supposed to constantly defend your worth. You're not supposed to shrink yourself to fit in. You're supposed to thrive in spaces where your confidence can breathe, choosing your space. So, what do? Step 1. Become aware. Notice how you feel after spending time with someone or somewhere. Do you feel lifted, or do you feel lowered? Step 2. Create distance where you can. You don't have to declare war. You don't have to make dramatic exits. But you can start guarding your energy like it's sacred, because it is. Step 3. Seek nourishing environments. This doesn't mean perfect people. It means people and places that make you feel safe to be bold, safe to be seen, safe to grow. Confidence doesn't grow in chaos. It grows in clarity, in safety, in encouragement. And if your environment doesn't give you that, it's time to plant yourself somewhere new. Now, if toxic environments can weaken your confidence from the outside, there's another silent enemy that eats you alive from within: the habit of constant comparison. Number 3, the trap of constant comparison. There's a quiet thief that robs more confidence than failure ever could. It doesn't scream. It doesn't knock down your door. It slips in silently every time you scroll, every time you look sideways at someone else's life. That thief is comparison, the illusion of measuring up. We live in a world where comparison is the default. Social media has turned life into a highlight reel. You don't see the sleepless nights, the breakdowns, the doubts. You only see the polished victories. And here's the trap: your raw, unedited reality is being measured against someone else's carefully curated moment. Of course you feel like you're behind. Of course you feel like you're not enough. But here's the truth no one tells you. Confidence doesn't come from measuring up to others. It comes from measuring your own growth, the emotional cost. Comparison doesn't just waste time, eats your joy. It takes the pride you should feel for your small wins and tells you, don't celebrate. It's not as big as theirs. It makes you blind to your own progress because your eyes are always on someone else's lane. And slowly, almost invisibly, it turns ambition into envy and gratitude into bitterness. But the more you compare, the more you forget. You're not living their story. You're writing your own, reclaiming your lane. So how do you escape the trap? First, catch yourself. The moment you notice comparison rising, pause, ask, am I looking for inspiration, or am I looking for validation? Ask, what can I learn from their journey that I can apply to mine? Third, refocus. Every day, measure your life against who you were yesterday, not who someone else is today. That's where real confidence lives. Not in the race against others, but in the quiet progress of becoming your best self. The truth is, confidence doesn't survive long in comparison, because when your worth depends on where you stand next to others, it will always shift. Someone will always be ahead. Someone will always look shinier, but no one can ever outdo you at being you. Now, we've looked at the enemies outside us and the illusions around us. But there's another enemy, quieter, yet far more dangerous, the one that doesn't just distract you, but paralyzes you. That enemy is Number 4, the paralysis of overthinking. There's a storm inside your head that no one else can see. It's not made of thunder or rain, but of thoughts, endless, looping, relentless thoughts. And while thinking is a gift, overthinking is a prison. the weight of endless loops. Have you ever replayed a conversation long after it ended? Every word, every glance, every pause, rewound and replayed like a broken record. Or maybe you've stood at the edge of a decision, running through every possible outcome until your courage dissolved into hesitation. That's the cruel power of overthinking. It doesn't just steal your time, it steals your action. And when action dies, confidence follows. Why overthinking feels safe. Here's the strange part. Overthinking often feels responsible. You tell yourself, I'm just being careful. I'm just making sure. But beneath that disguise is fear of making the wrong choice. Fear of failing. Fear of looking foolish. So instead of moving forward, you stay stuck in mental rehearsals. Safe, yes, but stagnant. And confidence can't breathe in still air. The confidence killer. Overthinking whispers, wait until you're sure. But here's the truth. You will never be 100% sure. Life doesn't give guarantees. It gives opportunities. Those opportunities expire while you're stuck in your head. Every time you hesitate, every time you delay, you're teaching yourself a quiet lesson. I don't trust myself enough to act. That lesson, it carves away your self-belief little by little, breaking free from the spiral. So how do you fight back? Set time limits for decisions. Give yourself a window, 5 minutes, an hour. A day depending on the importance. When the time is up, decide and move. Shift focus to action. Remind yourself, clarity comes from movement, not from thought. The first step may not be perfect, but it's progress. Talk back to your thoughts. When your mind spins with what ifs, answer with, and what if I can handle it? Overthinking thrives in questions. Kill it with answers. Overthinking will never vanish completely. It's part of being human. But you can choose not to live under its rule. You can learn to quiet the storm long enough to take the next step. And every step you take proves something powerful. You trust yourself, and that trust, that's the soil where confidence grows. We've explored the voices in your head, the environments around you, the illusions of comparison, and the paralysis of thought. But there's one more enemy, one that clings hardest of all the heavy weight of the past, and to truly rise into confidence. We must learn not just to fight it, but to release it. Number 5. The weight of living in the past. The past is heavy. It's filled with memories, regrets, mistakes, and moments you wish you could rewrite. And here's the truth. The past is powerful because it whispers to you even when you're trying to move forward. The shackles of yesterday, maybe it's a failure that keeps replaying in your mind. Maybe it's a relationship that broke you. Maybe it's a chance you didn't take. And the thought of it still burns. Whatever it is, the past has a way of chaining itself to your ankles. You try to walk, but you're dragging weight. You try to run, but the ground feels like quicksand. And slowly, almost invisibly, confidence slips away. Because how can you believe in tomorrow if you're still living inside yesterday? The illusion of control. The strangest part is this. You hold on to the past because it gives you a sense of control. You think, if I replay it enough times, maybe I can change it. Maybe I can protect myself from it happening again, but that's a lie. The past is unchangeable, and every moment you spend there is a moment stolen from the present. The only place you can build confidence, the only place you can take action, the confidence killer. Living in the past tells your subconscious a dangerous story. I am defined by what has already happened. It convinces you that your failures are permanent, that your mistakes are your identity, that your best days are behind you. But here's the reality. Confidence cannot grow in the soil of yesterday. It grows in today, in the risks you take now, in the challenges you face now, in the person you choose to become now, releasing the grip. So how do you let go? Acknowledge the lesson. Every painful moment carries data, just like failure does. Ask yourself, what did this teach me? And then carry the wisdom, not the wound. Create rituals of release. Write down the regret. Burn it. Tear it up. Let your body feel the act of letting go. Sometimes confidence is born in symbolic closure. Anchor yourself in the present, practice grounding habits, deep breathing, gratitude lists, mindful walks. Remind your mind, I am here, I am now, the power of today. Confidence blooms when you accept that yesterday cannot be changed, but today can be shaped, and tomorrow, it's built entirely on what you do now. You don't have to erase the past, you simply have to stop living there. Because the strongest version of you isn't behind you. It's waiting to be built right here, right now. Final reminder, guarding the flame of confidence. We've walked through the 5 killers of confidence: negative self-talk, toxic environments, constant comparison, and living in the past. Each of them steals a piece of your power. Each of them convinces you to shrink instead of rise. But here's the truth I want you to carry with you. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. And you build it every time you silence the critic. Step away from the toxic. Stop measuring yourself against others. Act before you're ready and release the weight of yesterday. You don't need perfect circumstances to be confident. You need the courage to choose differently. So the question is simple. Will you keep feeding these killers, or will you rise above them? Because the moment you decide to let them go, you're no longer at their mercy. You're free. And when you're free, your confidence becomes unshakable. Remember this, confidence doesn't come from waiting for life to get easier. It comes from learning that you are stronger than anything trying to break you. And that truth, that's yours to claim starting now. Thank you for spending this moment with Awaken Light Audio. If something today touched your heart or opened your mind, don't keep it to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments. What spoke to you most? Tell us about your journey, your questions, your breakthroughs, and let us know what you'd love to hear next. Subscribe to stay connected. And if this message could uplift someone you care about, send it their way, because light grows when it's shared. Until next time, stay present, stay awakened, and keep becoming who you're meant to be.